to go over was helpful tips for when you have to work from home with your dog. I don't even know how many weeks we're into this quarantine at this point. It's kind of different for everybody, but as it goes on a little bit longer and longer, we're realizing it's a little bit hard to work from home. Not everybody is used to it, I understand. And it's not only that, it's we have to work from home. You might have roommates that are working from home, your spouse, your kids, your dog, your cat. There's a lot going on, and it can be really difficult to figure out how to stay focused and how to work with your pet at home. So I have done a ton of research. I've also talked to a couple different people that I've seen around asking for their tips and tricks, and I've come up with 4 really simple ways, really simple tips for you to be able to actively and proactively get your work done at home. So let's go ahead and go over what these 4 tips are. The very first one, you need to write out a schedule. This one seems pretty obvious, but honestly, it's not something that everybody does, and I highly recommend it. You should sit down the night before and write out your next day's schedule, and you want to include in there what time you're getting up, what time you're having breakfast, what time you're feeding your dog, what time you're taking your dog for a potty walk, what time you're working. You want to include everything just as a normal day, as if you were getting up and going into the office would be, because that way you can keep in mind when you need to get stuff done. But something that you really want to put on the schedule also is when your doggy is going to have some doggy alone time. It's just as important for them to have that alone time now as it was before when we were actively having a regular life, getting up and going to work. So you want to make sure that's in your schedule. It'll help you out tremendously. Number 2, again, you want to give them space by getting out. Now, I know that we're all in quarantine right now and we shouldn't be leaving, but we're still allowed to get up and we're still allowed to go for a walk, and you can go for a drive as well. Just make sure that you're taking all of the right precautions. Wear your gloves, wear your mask. I have mine right over here. Every time I leave the store, I do have it on. So just get yourself nice and prepared and go for a walk or go for a drive without your pet. And again, you want to keep this in your schedule so you know about how long it's going to take and where you plan on going. This is really important for our health as well. We need to get up, we need to get out, and we need to get some fresh air too. So you want to schedule this into your day just as you would with any other activity. It's also good to keep how long you're gone kind of random. So one day could be 10 or 15 minutes, one day could be 30 minutes, then you could just be gone for 5 minutes while you go and check the mail. We also have to check our mail, right? But it's good for your pet to see that you are getting up and you're having a normal active life, and that sometimes they need to go entertain themselves or they get that alone time that they need as well. This is going to be really helpful for you as we start to actually go back into going to the office and having longer regular days gone, which is coming. Tip number 3, you want to create what I call a puppy zone. Now, it doesn't matter the age of your pet. You could have a puppy, you could have a senior, whatever it is, but you want to create a little zone, a little area that is nice and comfortable for them. And I highly recommend doing this in an area that you're not working. So if you're constantly working out of your living room, then maybe their puppy zone can be in your bedroom. Maybe you can set up something in the bathroom, or you have an extra room or the hallway, but you want to have a space for them that's nice and comfortable. If you have a crate and your dog is crate trained, you can make it nice and fun, put a really fun toy in there, put some treats, but you want it to be somewhere where they can go and relax and they're not just with you. It's important right now that while we're working, we're also giving our pets that space. I've mentioned quite a few times now, and it really is, so that way they're not harboring or starting to get any sort of separation anxiety. They still need to have that separation. It's important for them to understand that consistency is still there. Now, my last tip, number 4, the very last one that I have, is when you need to pull out the big guns. Let's say that you have a conference call, you've got a Zoom meeting, or just a regular conference call. You need to get something done. You only have a certain amount of time to do it, and you don't want your pets jumping all over you or interrupting you, because it happens. Make sure that they go potty first. Make sure that they have water and food first. Put them in their puppy zone, and you want to give them an amazing over-the-top toy that they only get when you need them to be fully preoccupied somewhere else. Now, one of the most popular ones and the easiest one to do would be a Kong fill up a Kong with something super yummy like peanut butter or their food, some treats. I recommend kind of doing a parfait where you put it in different layers, so that way they go through one layer and oh my god, there's something else here. And it keeps them preoccupied with that Kong for a long period of time. Now, if you want that Kong to last even longer, and especially as it gets hotter out, because at the end of the week it's going to be in the high 80s, can you believe it? I highly recommend freezing the Kong first, because that will make it last so much longer. It makes it a lot more fun. It starts to melt. It tastes really, really good. Gets a little bit messy, so now they're not only eating the Kong, but they're eating off of their hands or wherever it is that it's kind of getting messy, and it preoccupies them for a longer period of time. If you guys saw last week, I also showed you some DIY dog toys. A puzzle is really, really fun. All I did was grab a baking pan that you make muffins out of, and you can stuff it with different food or balls or treats, and it can be upside down or right side up, but it keeps them preoccupied for a longer period of time because they have to figure out how to get the food out. So mazes are really fun. Now, the important thing that I mentioned here was that they're only getting these toys when you need them to relax by themselves and be fully preoccupied for a longer period of time. As soon as you're done with your meeting or whatever it is that you needed to do, you should take that toy and only have them play with it when you need them preoccupied again. So those are 4 very helpful tips. I hope that helped somebody out there for how to work at home when your dog is home with you. If you guys have any tips that you personally do that I didn't mention, please let me know. I love learning more. I love being able to give more advice to people as they are calling with questions or possibly coming in. So yeah, let me know what tips that you guys have. As I mentioned earlier, don't forget to come back on Wednesday. I am going to be talking with one of our veterinarians. We're going to do an Instagram live, a split screen like I did before, and we're going to be answering some of your most popular questions that you have for veterinarians. So if you have any more, please comment in here. Let me know what questions you might have. You can send us a direct message as well. You are always more than welcome to send us an email at concierge@fiduspet.com. So come back on Wednesday if you want to meet our vet and go over some of these questions. On Friday, I have another really fun at-home DIY dog toy that can be really good for today's topic, actually, when it comes down to pulling out the big guns and needing those doggy puzzles that they only get when you need them fully preoccupied. So we're going to make some of those on Friday. On Wednesday, we're talking to our vet. Today, we got 4 helpful tips for how to work from home with your dog. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Again, my name is Jasmine, General Manager here at FIDUS. Thank you so much for tuning in. I look forward to these. I hope that you guys are too, and I will see you on Wednesday at 1. Bye.